So it's Sunday again, and it's time for our Sunday scripture. And so I'm going to do a tarot card reading for you and pull an oracle card as well, just to give us some thoughts and some insight and some guidance for moving through the coming week. And if you watched the video last week, I'd be really interested to see if it helped you with your week, if it resonated, if the guidance that you received kind of like connected with points in your week. So please do let me know. I always love hearing feedback from people or receiving questions, comments, etc. It's just good to know how these things are going down with you out there on the other side of this screen. So I will start with doing a reading for the week. So it's just basically a general reading on what to expect and what to contemplate and think about in the upcoming week. So no specific question. The first card. Second card. Third card. Okay. So the first card is for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and that is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups shows us a man who looks very happy with himself. He looks very comfortable, very confident, quite proud, but like humble proud, not arrogant proud. Like it's almost like, maybe this man has a shop and his shop is full of lots of lovely items. So let's imagine that he has a crystal shop and it's full of lots of really, really beautiful, really like potent, powerful crystals. And it's taken him a long time to put this shop together, to accumulate the crystals. He's done a lot of research, he's done a lot of travel to get all of these beautiful crystals into his shop so he can share them with other people. And now he's able to sit down finally and look around and see everything that he's accomplished, and he feels really good about himself, really satisfied, a bit kind of like proud, really proud in a good way of everything that he has achieved. And it's like he's achieved all of this through staying true to himself and through speaking his truth and trusting his intuition. Like the colours in this card are yellow, orange and blue predominantly. And then I like the fact that he's wearing a red cap, which means that, he has a tendency to go off into his head and get lost in his thoughts and start thinking and imagining and plotting and everything, and not necessarily to be grounded in his body. And so the red cap kind of symbolizes like putting the cap on it, really, to ground his thoughts. So by grounding his thoughts into the world, into the shop, into his business, into his dream and ambition and desire, that is how he has managed to achieve it. And he has achieved it through searching for the truth. Searching for his truth, finding his truth, leaning into his truth, and also trusting and following his intuition. So this card kind of tells us, that like if we want to build more good things he's also sitting on wood, on a wooden bench. Yeah, so this is all about being grounded, being connected to nature, being connected to something that's natural. And wood is like a really healthy, healing energy, and it's so grounded and rooted because it comes from the trees. So if we want to achieve great things in our lives, if we want to build our beautiful crystal shop, then the way forwards is to remain true to our truth, connect with our intuition, and follow these and use these as a guide. But always remember to put on that red cap to keep us grounded. Now, this card, in terms of the week and how it relates to the week, it's kind of asking you to look back over your life, your recent life especially, and just take stock of all of the things that you have achieved and accomplished, and honor them and be grateful for them and give thanks for them, and really feel that achievement that you have made, and feel good about yourself, and sit down, find a seat and sit down and be proud. Just look at everything that you've achieved and be proud, and take the first 3 days of this week as like a time out almost, to sit and look over all of the wealth that you have created, the beautiful garden that you have created in your life over all the years that you have been here, and just to appreciate them before you kind of like rush forwards into the next venture. But also, looking at this card, understand that the way that you got there in all of those instances was by following your intuition and trusting your truth and letting those things guide you. And so take that forwards with you then into the latter half of the week, and use them to then plan what you're going to do next and how you're going to keep building your life. The second card, which is for Thursday and Friday, is the Seven of Swords. And what strikes me immediately with this card is that the colouring is almost identical. Yeah, we see these two cards, and the colouring in both of them is like orange, yellow and blue, with the tiniest little bit of red, but it's like the same colouring really. And this card is about stealth and theft and sneakiness and cheekiness, and basically being ingenious, and using your brain to better yourself. Yeah, and the Seven of Swords is kind of, it's about going into like someone else's house or an enemy camp and stealing from them. So if say we were doing a love reading and I picked up this card and this was about the person that you were currently wondering, are they a good partner for me? The answer would be like kind of, no, really, you better look out, because this person's going to steal something from you, or they're going to try, or they're in a business where they steal from other people. Yeah, but they're not like an honest person, they're not a reliable person, they're not aligned to their higher self yet, they're not living from that higher vibration, they're not on that path of spirituality and enlightenment and self-betterment. But as it pertains to our week, this card is like, well, it's possibly a warning to watch out, because somebody may come into your life, whether by a phone call or an email or an actual meeting or connection. Somebody may try to take something from you, so just be aware that somebody may reach out to you and say, hey, can you give me this, or can you do this for me? Or you might meet up with somebody and they might then hijack the day or hijack the meeting and make it all about their own agenda. So just be aware that somebody may try to take something from you this week, and it might be a big thing or a small thing, but it's a thing. And in this card, it's quite a few things because it's 7 of them. Yeah, so it's like seven swords, which are 7 pieces of truth. So maybe it's like they want to mine your brain for advice on a certain situation. So I don't know, for example, someone might come to me and say, hey, can you give me a free reading because I really need help with X, Y, and Z. And then, you know, it might end up being a really long reading, and it might have 7 cards in it, or, you know, it might last for 70 minutes. Or, you know, but like that person will be asking me to give them like from 7 different skill sets. So for you, somebody could be asking you to give from 7 different skill sets, or literally they want like 70 minutes of your time, 7 minutes of your time, 7 days of your time. You know, look into it in that respect as well. This card could also be an encouragement to you in terms of building your empire, and it could be saying that you need to be this guy, this little thief, and you need to go out there and you need to steal from other people, not in a literal sense, but hey, if we go back to the metaphor of the crystal shop, for example, if you want to better your crystal shop, and we're using this card as advice and guidance, yeah, this card is telling us in order to better your crystal shop, you need to deep dive into other crystal shops, other people that are selling crystals, and you need to figure out where they're getting their crystals from. And you need to ask them, but in a covert way, so that they're really open with you and they tell you the truth. Yeah. So if you just ask them directly, they might see you as a threat, as competition, and they might not tell you. But if you ask them because you're curious and you're looking for this stone, and you know it would mean so much to you, and it's you need it for healing, for this or for that, then they're more likely to tell you all about the origins of this crystal and its story and everything, and then you're going to get this information. So this card is kind of saying maybe you need to do a little bit of clever research. Yeah, so it's not true theft. It's just it's using other people's, like other people have done the groundwork, other people have done the work, and then you're going to them and you're saying, hey, can you help me because I'm trying to do this too and I don't know how. And how you go about that and how you ask is up to you. You know, maybe you want to be really like truthful about it and open about it and keep moving this energy forwards. And so there is no stealing or deception. It's all above board, but it's kind of like, you know, you are being pushed into entering someone else's camp, someone else's home, someone else's city that they have built, yeah, their kind of like empire or kingdom or whatever, and you're being told to go there in order to source for more information and more guidance, and maybe that means you have to be a little bit clever about how you do it in order to get people to give you the information. Maybe you have to put on an act, play a role, you know, in order to get the information. Like even if it's just like, oh, you're really shy and you don't like making phone calls, and you have to make a phone call and ask these people like, hey, where do you get your crystals from, etc. You know, that's you playing a role. It's not you authentically, it's you playing a role. Maybe you have to do that, or maybe it's literally like, you know, you have to kind of like walk in there as yourself and ask, but it's like there are these 7 truths that either you need to go out and ask for and get in order to put into your life and build into your business or whatever, or someone is going to come and try and take them from you. And so maybe the card is about kind of balance and about making sure it's you taking those 7 things from someone else and not you giving those 7 things to someone else, like, because you're not offering to give them, they're being taken. So just bear that in mind. The third card, which is for the weekend, is the Knight of Swords. Which suggests that the weekend is going to be a bit intense. You know, the energy of this card is, this card has got like lots of energy in it for starters. I mean, this guy on the horse is like, he's charging into battle or into like wherever he's going. He is moving really, really fast. and he's got a lot of energy. You know, he is a man with a mission, yeah, and he's all fired up and ready to go and on his way. And it's almost like, you know, something is really like kind of like stung him where it matters, where it hurts, and he's like, woof, I've got to go and get this sorted out, got to fix this, I've got to take this person down, I've got to put my kingdom back to rights again, yeah. So he's kind of like going off to war, almost into battle. He is fighting for king and country, and he's on a quest, because all knights are on a quest, and he really has got a mission here. He's really intent on his mission, and he's like, you know, he's flying at great speed, but yeah, he is like really comfortable on this horse. He doesn't look like he's going to fall off. It looks like he knows what he's doing when he's riding his horse. His horse and he are one. They're almost blending into each other in places, and they're both hell-bent on achieving this mission. The weather, the clouds above it's like blue sky with some clouds, but the clouds are really jagged, so they're not like, it's not like a peaceful sunny day. It looks like it's a moody sunny day. So, you know, there's either been a storm or some fog or something, or it's coming, but it's not a relaxed atmosphere. They're like carrion birds circling overhead, like kind of like stirring him on and waiting for him to slip up and fall off so that they can come down and pick his bones. And we're going through desert here, and the trees in the background are really like kind of scraggly, and it looks like they haven't had much nourishment for a very long time. So we're going through hostile territory here in order to like fight the true fight. So you, over the weekend, you are going to be called to action. And the action that will be calling you is something that you are really passionate about, something that really, really speaks to you deeply. So it could be a political issue, for example, that you feel you need to kind of stand up and fight for. It could be something to do with your business which has been challenged, and you feel like you need to really like kind of sort this thing out. So if it's your crystal shop, you know, maybe you don't have enough clients at the moment, and you need to like go out and find some. So you're riding on your horse, and you're like, you know, going into a new town or a new district or a new country, and you're exploring it, and you're like, right, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to find these people, and I'm going to bring them back. So you're on that mission. Or maybe your mission is that someone else has set up a crystal shop nearby, and they're threatening to steal your business, and so you're like charging over there to sort it out, speak to them, and you know, you have the sword of truth in your hand, and you're really fired up, and you're going to speak your truth. So it's like, you know, you're like a mother bear defending her cub, yeah. So something is going to like poke you and provoke you, and challenge your little inner cub, and you are going to want to rise up and go after it in order to sort this out. And that's neither a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a kind of like, just to let you know that this is happening, this is coming, something is going to enter into your world over the weekend, and it's going to cause you to want to rise up and fight. So, you know, you might just feel this energy within you, and you might decide to just let it go and go and do some meditation and some deep breathing, and, you know, align with your higher self and figure out what to do through that connection and channeling. Or you may actually feel inspired to kind of like get up and go charging off in order to sort this thing out. And the more conscious you can be of it when it arrives, the more prepared you can be before it arrives, then the less likely you are to act rashly in the moment, and the more capable you will be of taking sensible, conscious steps, because that's what we want to do after all. So those are the 3 cards. So we start off at the beginning of the week with the 9 of Cups. So just look back over all your accomplishments and give yourself a big pat on the back and say well done, and just take some time to really appreciate how far you've come and everything that you've achieved, because it's not something that we do enough. The second card is the Seven of Swords. So either somebody is going to try and take something from you, so just be aware of that, and decide how you would like to respond. Maybe you're happy to give whatever this person's coming to take, even though you know they're trying to be a little bit manipulative about it, but maybe you're like, no, it's fine, I'm cool, I don't mind giving my advice, giving my help, it's not a problem, that's all good with me, I'm cool with that energy exchange. Or maybe you're not, and maybe it's you need to go and be trying to stealthily get something from somebody else, and if that's the case, that's fine, just be aware of it, and maybe try and make your intentions as pure and as high vibrational as possible. So if you need someone to do a favor for you, don't be manipulative about it, don't be covert, don't try and fabricate this great story as to why you have to help me. Be really upfront and honest and say, hey, I know this is a really big deal, I know this is a big thing to ask, but can you help me anyway? And then just see what happens. And then the third card is the Knight of Swords, and that's just saying that something is going to come into your life and it's going to provoke you and it's going to call on you to rise up and act, and just be prepared, and then it's up to you how you respond. There's a lot of things going on in the world at the moment, especially that are calling on us. A lot of people who aren't really politically minded, who don't necessarily follow the news on a regular basis, who prefer to stay away from all of that because they find it a little bit harsh and a little bit hard to kind of digest and have in their energy field, on a regular basis. Are finding themselves being drawn to current affairs just in an effort to keep up with what's going on, because they feel like that's the wisest thing to do and that's the best way to stay safe, and maybe in that regard you are being pushed and prodded and you feel like you need to speak out about something that you believe in, and this card is just saying this is really going to happen over next weekend. And if you do feel called to stand up and speak, that's cool. You have this guy's energy with you. Just be aware of what's happening and what you're doing, and then also be okay with whatever happens as a result. There might be fallout. You might get slack if you to give your opinion on something. At the moment, everything's so polarized. So, whether you're into masks or not, whether you're into vaccines or not, wherever you sit on the whole narrative that's going on at the moment and what you believe, it's all so polarized. And so, you can't really open your mouth and say anything without offending some people, because everybody's sitting on different fences at the moment, and you can't please everybody because there are too many different narratives. So just be aware of that, and make sure you ground yourself if you do feel called to act, and just be prepared for what might come back at you. And if it does, take some time out for self-healing and for forgiveness work, so that you don't carry the grudge of whatever someone has said against you with you forwards into the next week, and so that you're not feeling that hurt, that wounding in your heart, because that would not be helpful, and that would also almost make you having stood up in the first place counterproductive, because you've ended up harming yourself in trying to help yourself or others. I'm now going to draw one final card from the Ask and It Is Given card deck, which is an Esther and Jerry Hicks Teachings of Abraham, and it's just going to give us a nice little magical message to take us through. So, it's fell up already. Okay. This is a good card for the end of this reading, actually. It says, only I know what is appropriate for me. So there you go. That goes really, really nicely with all of the cards, but especially the Knight of Swords. So that's that card. It's a woman bent over a little bird with her hair kind of falling over it. She's holding this little bird. So this little bird is like your inner child. And it's kind of saying, look, only you know You know what your precious little inner child needs right now, what is right for you. Only you know that. Nobody else can tell you. Nobody else knows. Nobody else can see, feel, or hear what your little bird is saying or needs. And then the message on the back, because there's a message on the back of all of these cards, says, when you remember that everyone who asks is given, then how wonderful and appropriate it is for you to make the choices for you. For the universe operates much more efficiently without a middleman interceding on your behalf. You always know in the moment what is best for you. So, in every situation, in all three of the cards that I have drawn, ask what is right for me. And then make the choices for you. And if you don't hear an answer, ask louder to the universe, what is right for me? And then wait until the answer arrives. And you will know in your gut, in your intuition, you will know if it's the right thing for you when you're doing it. And if you are mindful and present in the moment, you will feel it. And if you act counter to your intuition and you do the wrong thing, if you're paying attention and checking in, you will feel it. And then it's up to you whether you do it or not still. But at least you will know. Okay, so that's my reading for this week. That concludes our Sunday scripture. And yeah, let me know how your week went. Let me know how those cards corresponded with your week. And we will speak here again next week. And yeah, please like this channel, subscribe to it. And if you'd like to know more about me or to book a private reading, then please contact me via my website, lemonrosepetals.com. Thank you. Bye.